Hey, hello everybody, good morning. Today is Monday. Happy week for everybody. July 25, 8:45 a.m. Let's start with Ibovespa. I decided to sell more Ibovespa index. We have this gap. Of course, that we can go up to 101 to close the gap. But the setup is really beautiful for a downtrend because they already open above the EMA 20. And a lot of people just look for this type of analysis inside the candle. If you start to go down, right, we will see a bearish analysis, inside the candle. So I'm speculating that we are seeing the top, and then we could start to go down, starting tomorrow, for example. Okay. Also, I like this setup because the bullion band, the above line is pointing south, and this make force the asset to go down. Of of course, the bottom line is also is up in is pointing north. That also force the asset to go up. But what this is meaning? They are squeezing, the bullion band is squeezing with a possible bearish setup, a bearish enlace. But as I said, we could close the gap at 101, and we need to looking for that region as well. Okay, but I decided to enter short. Why? The DXY, the dollar, still have space to go a little bit more down, to test EMA 50 on the daily graph, or even the EMA 8 in the weekly graph. Let me open the weekly graph. See, we have space to test, for example, 105.681 or even 103. I'm not looking for 103 because since we start up trend and dollar, the DXY is really directional. If they start as soon they enter in a trend, they go further. Then it's not like Bitcoin, or what can I say? Assets that fluctuate a lot. The DXY, core, commodities in general, and forex in general. As soon as they start a trend, they keep going. It's really keep going. And so far, they have been touching the EMA 8 and spiking. And also the bullion bands, both are pointing to north, meaning they have space to go up. Okay, but it's in consolidation. So it's in consolidation, and because that I decided to short Ibovespa, because dollar DXY in consolidation, and the possibility to spike the setup graphics, the graphic setup is to go higher. What's gonna happen? Risk assets supposed to be go down, especially commodities. In Brazil is a commodity producer, iron ore and oil. Consequently, it affects Brazil. So I decide to go enter short in Brazil. Okay. We talk about already DXY and Ibovespa. Bitcoin, as I said, I told you guys before that I have a possibility to go up to 24, but the gum is 22.5. The top of this week could be 23,079 if I'm not wrong, but we need to highlight that we also have a possibility to test 17K. So far we saw 22,900 and something, really close from 23.79, 23K 79 dollars that I post in the group, if I'm not wrong, on Saturday or yesterday. I guess it was yesterday. Okay, so Bitcoin is so far running according the structure. Regarding SP 500, also the dollar is in consolidation, but we could go lower in the DXY, right? We could keep the trend of the SP 500 going up. But what I have been observing, I put the market WAP document, Hold on, guys, I lose my mouse. So a very discrepancy between SPY, this SPY is the right side, and the SPX. For example, for today, they sold calls with strike 3945 and 3975, and the exercise price is between 3,995 and 3,969. What they are telling that they don't want to bring the SP above 3,995, and we will close below 3,969. In another hand, we saw SPY. This is a structure. This is look at spread, because they sold and they bought call, but they sold puts. Okay, they sold puts. The only one buy here with strike 396, the exercise price 3,940. This one comply with this one that they sold the call with the exercise price 3,969. But remember that 3,950 is now is a very important support, because below at this region we have a negative gamma. Losing 3,950, we could go faster to test 3,900. That's not the important support. The important support per structure is 3,800. So we need to keep in mind 3,950. At the overnight, they were able to defend the region. We tested 3,951, and then we spiked up to 3,984 or 87. I don't know what was the top of the day. I guess 86. 3,988 so far is the top of the day. Okay. So that's really confused, the structure. We also have big orders to sell on Friday. At the close on Friday, that's already move the dark pool. We are on Friday. I post to you guys. They bought a lot of puts. It was a very bearish flow after hours. Okay, but in another hand, we have makers providing liquidity to retail. Why I'm telling that? Because we saw the squeezing metric, the DX jumping to 50%. What this means? Maker will keep providing liquidity to retail. See? Is 50.9%, and also they dropped the GX from 3 billion to 1.3, so almost $2 billion. As much you see in dropping, market you became more accelerated. So to move market, they don't need too much they don't need a lot of money to move market, even up and even down. Consequently, we have a lot of divergence between retail and dark pool makers, because market went up, but the dark pool didn't bought this rally so far. That make me conclude that's not a reversal from bear market to bull market, because makers not buy. In another hand, makers also is not interested to buy. To sell. Consequently, they are providing liquidity to dark pool. Not interested to sell, market also could still going up, right? They provide liquidity, they are not aggressive in the sell, but they are not buying. So they looking like for other levels to sell more heavily. Or they already have structure to do that, in the future. As we saw, right? They have been buying puts a lot, long puts, to protect them against the theta that corrode the premium. And in another hand, as soon the markets spike, they sell a lot of calls. Consequently, they have been exercised. They are selling without notice. And also, they collecting the premium of the calls, and the VIX didn't spike. the VIX nowadays is really flat in the demand zone. Okay, the demand zone means put is getting lower, cheaper, so they can buy insurance cheaper. They sell the calls, they being exercised, they have been buying, and they are selling without notice. I'm not calling for crash, I'm not calling for whatever, you guys understand. But I'm just trying to show the structure that, they are mounting in the market. So DXY is in consolidation. DXY is in consolidation. This week we have GDP, we have FONC, and we have big companies, big technical companies reporting earnings. So far we see Maker providing liquidity. 3,950 is the first most important support. Okay, 3,950 is the first important support. Also in that region we have the EMA 50 in the daily graph. Losing that region, you could backtest 3,900. The major support nowadays, in my point of view, is 3,880, 3,890. That region for me is the most important support to keep the trend, the uptrend, to close the gap, and maybe to test 4,096, 4,100. Okay? So the major support to keep the trend is 3,886. Breaking that, in my humble opinion, in my humble analysis, the uptrend will fail, and then you start another downtrend. Putting a weekly graph, let me change this for a weekly graph. I'm also looking for this setup that we saw in March. Okay, basically 3 weeks higher, right? They squeeze a lot of short, because as soon as you saw the top, a lot of people start to short here, and they were squeezed, right? So markets jump, I guess, 12%. Remember that I told you guys that in 2008 we saw two big jumps, the two big melt up. The first one was 14.80%, and the 41, and the second one was 14.33%. Why not? We could see this again, the same pattern as 2008. Between those two, spikes, melt up, we saw huge drops. And then after the second spike of 14.33% back in 2008, we just saw a big drop, and then another spike at 9%, and then we saw a crash. Could be happen again? Yes, could be happen again and replicate 2008. Of course, that market will do what they are set up to do. It's not what I'm thinking, but I'm looking for the same pattern that you saw in March. Okay, and we could be test 4,100, but to test 4,100 we cannot lose 3,886, 3,809. That region is the most important region to support the uptrend. Otherwise, we will go down first, and then we could see another spike or mirror in 2008 around like 90%. But if we lost the region that I just said, we will not see 4K again, but 3,800, 3,900. So the graphic setup will be changed as well. Okay, guys, pay attention today, this week in 3,950. Over there is a negative gamma. Losing the region, we can accelerate the downtrend up to 3,900, and the major support 3,800. To not lose the uptrend, we cannot lose 3,880, 3,890. That's my humble opinion. Remember, dollar is flat. It's a massive accumulation. Makers are buying dollar. That's not good for risky assets. Take care. Enjoy your day. See you guys later.